How do you treat someone with gout? Should you avoid tomatoes and fruit?
Mm-hmm. So, gout commonly presents in men more so than women. It has a very strong genetic predisposition, and it has a flow-on effect. Once you get it once, you can often then continually get it throughout your life. So I don't know if any of you treat gout very often. I certainly saw a lot of people in private practice when I was working in the country who had gout. So pretty much most of the clientele that I was seeing in a country town, on the outskirts, lots of meat, lots of alcohol consumed, I would see it was rife. In Wagga, I literally never saw it. I maybe saw 2 or 3 cases. So how do we treat it diet-wise? A big one is alcohol. So you definitely talk about alcohol. Fruit generally wouldn't talk about in great detail. A lot of the time I would advocate that they have fruit. There's decent research around vitamin C improving gout outcomes and frequency of reoccurrence. So I wouldn't tell them no fruit, but I would certainly tell them not to have fruit juice. So refined intakes of sugar, which comes in the form of fruit juice, muesli bars, etc. I would work to reduce that sort of food down in their diet. What was the other one that you said? Should they cut out?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes, yeah. So a lot of people that would come and see me for gout would talk about they would feel tingling if they have gout and they eat a tomato, like your acidic foods, whether it be oranges, tomatoes, etc. Now, whilst that's all old wives' tale conversation, there might be some foundation behind that, but it wouldn't be because it causes them to develop gout. To be honest, I think they might have a food intolerance, and it's causing them to have joint pain, which can sometimes be a symptom. So that's an aside. If they come in and they tell you they can't eat it, we'll let them don't eat it. It's fine. It doesn't really change anything. Just want to make sure they have other sources of vitamin C in their diet. So no, they don't specifically need to cut out fruit, and they don't specifically need to cut out tomatoes. If they have done that and they tell you that they feel better, fine. If they have done it and it doesn't actually make them any better or any different, tell them that they can bring it back into their diet. But what often I would find, some people may present with high uric acid levels with no symptoms. Other people, their uric acid levels, which is obviously the thing which is elevated when we get gout. So it doesn't often present always with high uric acid level, but people have obvious swelling of their joints and pain, inflammation, tenderness. It's really incredibly sore. So I don't know if you've ever seen gout before, but these people generally come in extremely motivated to never get it ever again in their life. So they will listen to what you have to say. So ramp up their fluid from non-sweetened sources. So if they are having a lot of alcohol, talk to them about importance of reducing that down and upping your fluid intake.
Artificial sweeteners fine.
There's no evidence to suggest yay or nay.
Yeah.
Some random things you would talk to them about: moderate intake of coffee, because we know that coffee, which is consistently in their diet, won't dehydrate them, so it can be a source of fluid, particularly in the colder months for some people. So some coffee can be really beneficial. Randomly, cherries have some research around them. They may also help, whether it's vitamin C, whether it's something to do with the antioxidant profile, who knows. Getting people to eat fruit, if cherries are in season or in the bottle, that can be beneficial, but not the juice, remember, just the actual cherries. Any source of purine in their diet, so Vegemite is a big one, no-go, like legit no-go. Prawns, I've had plenty of clients have a really big weekend of alcohol and prawn, come back and they can't walk. So I'd really emphasise the importance of cutting those 2 things down immediately if they've got acute gout symptoms.
So for what reason?
Well,
what's the P word?
It builds up in the purines in the diet.
You haven't mentioned them before.
Oh, haven't I?
What are they?
Yeah, so purines is literally just a protein that elevates the, it's an amino acid protein, so it elevates the level of uric acid. So, yeah. Even if
someone's... should they be avoiding purines?
Well...
Purines, however you want to say it.
A lot of people don't eat those foods that often, so if they do eat Vegemite...
A lot of old guys don't have Vegemite on toast every morning.
Yeah, and if they do, I'd definitely be cutting that concentrated source out. But purines are also naturally found in meat and red meat, so people don't necessarily need to cut that out, but I would significantly reduce it down. And like I said, gout is generally the disease of excess, is what it used to be called back in the day, so excess alcohol, excess meat. So I would often just focus on those 2 things. I mean, offal, which is another source of purine, as well as bonnets and broths and casseroles and stuff like that. And again, you tend to see a trend of an increase in meat and those sort of heavy foods when people actually get gout. So generally my advice to prevent the build-up is moderate intake of purines. If someone's got acute symptoms, I'd really just be strict and pull everything back, so no alcohol for a couple of weeks and that sort of thing. So if my clients get a gout a lot, they would generally be on a gout preventer, like a cold gout or pro gout or something like that.
Medication.
Yeah, and that can sometimes help. However, if they get gout, often, generally, sometimes diet just won't have an impact. It can help, but it may not prevent it for a lot of people who get it regularly. So hopefully that's a good summary. Do you know how to treat gout now?
I do now.
Yeah.
I do now.
Sweet.